Hi everyone, it's Giselle with a message for today. And I want to borrow a quote that I heard from Abraham Hicks this morning. I was pondering this subject and I just couldn't think of the right title to give this video. And usually the titles give a very concise overview of what you're going to be listening to, because not every video applies to everybody, and I certainly don't want anyone to click on and feel dissatisfied and like they've wasted their time. So this video is about you will not be able to have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. And the reason that I was prompted to make this video is because I received, quite unexpectedly, a few negative comments on one of the videos I posted yesterday. I posted the video with love. That's how I post all my videos. I always post it with love, and the people who understand me and know what I'm about did defend me and say, look, there's only love on this channel, and I do appreciate you for saying that and noticing that and accepting that about me and my work, because that is the truth. And to people who are not on my frequency, they're gonna find this very irritating. It's, you either love my energy or you're going to find it immensely annoying. Like, how can you be so positive? Not everything is positive. I totally get that. You're preaching to somebody who's had what could be perceived as a very difficult life, but it's what you make of it. I could have been a bitter person. I completely could have. But I decided to not do that because being angry and bitter does not feel good. It hurts you to the core of who you are, and it's because you are not living in the energy and the vibration of who you really are. At the core of us, we are love. At the core of us, we are unconditional, and we are a piece of the divine. And the divine is pure, unconditional love and well-being. And if you are not in that vicinity, let alone on that frequency, you are going to go through life suffering a lot. And you may have already gone through a lot, like I have. I don't need to tell you my story and make you feel sorry for me, but believe me, a lot has happened that has made me just go, "Ooh, wow." I could have gone the other way. I could have turned to God knows what, maybe drugs for relief, alcohol perhaps, I don't know. To escape the reality of what I had to live, but I decided to not do that. Because in essence, it wasn't aligning with who I was. And I totally empathize with people who feel the need to go down that route. It's totally understandable because from what I've lived, it's completely logical that that's something you may want to do to mask the pain. But that's the truth of what it is you're just masking something that is hurting you, but it's not healing it. It's not overcoming it. It's just putting a little plaster over it, when in fact all you're doing really is picking at the scabs and making the wound open permanently. So what really, really struck me when I was listening to that recording this morning was, yes, it is so true. You cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. If you imagine this journey that you're on is full of pain and full of heartache and sorrow, and I had this person saying that they've accepted that they're going to be alone for the rest of their life. Well, that's not a statement of somebody who is in alignment with their soul and with the divine. That's a statement of somebody who's bitter and angry and resentful to everybody and life and their twin flame, or the person that they think is their twin flame. And, it's awful to experience that type of energy. What I also want to say is that not everybody, especially the people who comment negative stuff, is actually on a twin flame path with the actual person who is their twin. Because if the person you are referring to is your twin, you would not express yourself in such an angry and bitter way. You would not say that you've been humiliated by them, or, that you've had the worst experience of your life. That's more like a false twin or a catalyst situation, to be fair. And not everybody who finds my channel or these types of channels will already have been in the advantage position of having met their physical twin. You could be alluded to the fact that you are a twin flame. I will tell you now, I was first introduced to this concept back in 2002. What's that, 16 years ago? And back then I knew in my heart, wow, this is me. This is the journey I'm on. But it took me 14 years out of the 16 to physically find that person. And I never gave up hope. I could have easily gone, well, I'm in a long-term 8-year relationship with somebody who turned out to not be the one. I'm going to be bitter and horrible and make the world an awful place by me moaning and saying nasty things to everybody who I envy being on a better path than me. Could have gone that way easily. But I took that as a learning experience. Okay, this person wasn't the one, but what did I gain from this experience? And I am actually grateful. I'm not resentful or angry for that time that I have spent with them, because I have learned so much about who I am, what I want. Because you can take your negative experiences one of two ways. You can either become angry and resentful, like, oh God, why did I have to experience this? This is not what I wanted. Or take it in your stride and say, okay, I understand. Through what I see I do not want, I have a better picture of what it is that I do want, and therefore my image of what I am striving for has been refined. The details have been added. You cannot compare you coming into this without a plan, without a knowing of what it is that you really want. It's like me when I was first wanting to get into a relationship when I was 17 years old. All I put out to the universe was, universe, I want a relationship. I didn't say what I wanted. I didn't say, oh, by the way, universe, I'd like a happy relationship, a relationship with somebody who's emotionally stable and not abusive. I would like a relationship with somebody who is truly loving and not conditionally loving only when times are good and when I feel that I'm doing whatever it is they want. I wasn't clear because I didn't know. I didn't realize that that was a possibility. Excuse me. And therefore, I got into a crazy relationship that I don't wish on my worst enemy. And I could have taken that as a really terrible thing of, well, now that this has happened, there's no such thing as true love. And, I could have really dug myself into a hole and stayed there. But I decided, no, life is too beautiful. I am too precious. I'm way too positive. Rather than seeing, because you have two ways. When you're at a crossroads like that, you can either turn into the dark path and stay there and get lost there and never ever emerge. Or you could stay there for a little bit but then decide, this doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel part of who I am. And then turn round and go onto the light path. Or you can go onto the light path first time. I mean, that's what I did when I broke out of my first relationship. Was I realized it's not what I wanted. So rather than even dwelling on the dark path, I went onto the light path straight away, and I went, do you know what? I'm free. I'm free, and I can create my world however I want it. And you can say, oh, but that's easy to say for a 20-something-year-old, who hasn't had that many bad experiences. Yeah, I may not have had that many bad experiences with relationships, but tell you what, that was an awful experience to have had, enough for 10 years. Certain, for 10 lifetimes, I mean. It's certainly nothing to be relived ever again. And then the second relationship, the long-term one that I was in, that didn't turn out great. Turned out that I spent 8 years with somebody who eventually I wouldn't end up marrying. But I didn't feel the same, with regards to turning on to which path I was turning onto. I may have turned onto the dark path for 2 days because I was a bit of quite pessimistic for 2 days. I would say, why is life so unfair? I've spent so many years giving it my all, and now it's kind of like all for nothing. But 2 days was all it took. And then I thought, no, do you know what? I am too beautiful and too amazing, and life is too precious for me to stay on this path. Turned round, packed up my stuff, and gone onto the light path that led me to finding my true love. And so, what you refer to as the journey, if we're speaking in terms of the person you thought was your twin flame or your false twin or whatever, you could say, yeah, I've been on this for 2 years. But in actuality, I've been on this journey for 16 years. And it's been beautiful because it's made me who I am. It's defined everything that I know, because it helped me to realize that I am a creator. I am not somebody who is allowing life to happen to me. I choose what I want. And the majority of the time, I receive that because I don't allow any less than that what I deserve. And even situations that may have been perceived negatively, I could have had a total setback when I met my false twin. I could have gone, well, twin flames is a load of nonsense, and this person was the devil, so why the heck would I ever want to put myself through that again? And that's the energy I got from a lot of people who left negative comments on that video. I don't believe they're on a true twin flame path, and they may disagree with me and whatever. I don't care. You can watch my videos, or you just don't. I don't care. It's no skin off my nose if you don't. But to put yourself through torture and sit here and watch me and then get so angry that my energy is not at your level, then geez, don't put yourself through that. Just switch off. Do yourself a favor and just don't watch me. I really don't care. It's like a buffet, isn't it? The whole twin flame community. You get so many different channels to choose from, people with different perspectives. I mean, I'm sure that if you are wanting to find somebody who's equally pessimistic as you're going to find someone. No problem. There's plenty of people who feel really pessimistic about this. I've even seen video titles about this whole thing's a hoax and a conspiracy and it's all fake. And go and watch one of those people. I'm sure you're going to resonate and feel great, and you can post comments about how awful this journey is and agree with each other. But don't put that on my channel, because you're not going to get the response that you're wanting. I'm here to cater to people who feel hopeful, who feel like they are creators. Well, because you are. That's the truth of it. You are creators. And who are in the driving seat, who are not letting life and its circumstances just happen to them, and then them reacting in such a like a really, really childish way to the negativity, rather than understanding, okay, this has happened. This is not positive, and that's fine, because not everything is positive, but it's what you do with it that matters and that can turn it around. And if you aren't grasping that, then I'm not the channel for you, because that's all I'm going to talk about, is how can we make the best out of every situation. Because if you can't do it, if you cannot be grateful for everything, including the things that aren't as desired as you want them to be, then how can you receive the things that you want? And it's what you make of this journey. Do you want to be on an unhappy journey with an unhappy ending? Or do you want to be on a happy journey with a happy ending? And being in the driver's seat does not mean controlling your situation and controlling people and making your twin flame do as you want. Because if you're trying to do that and that's your concept of being in the driving seat, you've got the wrong end of the stick here. And I think you need to go away and evaluate everything properly, because that's not what I am meaning by that. What I mean by sitting in the driving seat is, are you allowing life to happen to you and just, going, oh, life is awful and this and that and people are nasty, and or are you allowing life to happen through you and for you to create, and through the circumstances that you're not wanting, you're allowing that to be a teachable moment and for you to then allow yourself to create what it is that you do want. I hope that this video has allowed you to ponder upon things that maybe you haven't thought of yet, or that it's just reminded you of what you already knew, or brought you some clarity to what you've been wondering about, because that is my intention. I only ever put out these videos with love, and that's all really. So if this has helped, and I'm very happy that it has, then I'm glad. And if you'd like to connect with me for some one-on-one help, then my details are in the link. Thank you all for watching, and thank you all for receiving my messages in the spirit that I intend them to be in. And have a beautiful day. Namaste.